Welcome to Psalm 108. The Lord delivers his beloved. We'll find out about the beloved here in a few verses, but it begins, and I'll read in the Greek, O thee, psalmu to David. Etimi e cardia mu, O Theos, etimi cardia mu asome, ke psalo inti doximu. Exegerthiti e doxamu, exegerthiti psalterion ke kithara, exegerthisome or through. An ode of a psalm to David, and the psalm is the complete ode is generally what has to do with music, and we'll see here all the instruments that are involved with putting together this ode of a psalm attributed to David. My heart is prepared. O God, my heart is prepared. Now, the heart is a muscle, and you don't prepare your heart. The heart's inside of your body. But now the heart, cardia, we have a word that is used for the muscle inside of our body. We have called it cardiac arrest, and it has to do with the heart. But in the Bible, it's not really ever talking about the muscle of the heart. It's a place, something inside. They didn't have anatomy like we have, although they did have animals, so they knew these different parts of the body, and they knew what the heart was, and maybe they looked and tried to figure out, well, where do these different things, parts of our experience, belong inside of the body? And they put it together. Well, there's a heart, and some places a liver, and then there's the mind for the brain, and so forth. And as far as the heart in the Bible, it's not talking, like I said, about a muscle, but it's talking about this place that controls certain things or is affected by certain things, as in Matthew 5:8, Jesus says, "Blessed are the clean ones in heart, for they shall see God." Well, now our heart is not clean, the muscle is not clean, but that part of us in the heart, exactly what is it? Our makeup? It's hard to exactly understand when God is talking about here, because we're so used to calling the muscle the heart and relating it to that muscle, but the clean ones in heart. So that part of us that is clean, our actions, our thoughts, mind, I'm not exactly sure, but in Matthew 6:21 it says, Jesus says, "For where your treasure is, there will be also your heart." Now, a treasure, the things important to us. So we have these important things that are in our mind. We bring them up in the past, something that is wonderful, that we cherish, and they are brought up, I don't know, from someplace in the mind, or as far as we know right now. I mean, there are gray cells, supposedly. I'm not a biologist, and I don't know too much about the body as far as all these different parts of it. But the brain, so it could be calling it heart, and then it's actually the brain that's doing it, but the actions are what would be considered the brain, but yet they call it the cardia, and somewhere along the line they decided to call that muscle in the body the cardia, and we use that today in English as what we know as that muscle, the heart. Then in Matthew 12:35, Jesus says, "The good man from out of the good treasury of the heart." So now as the treasury, the second place mentions a treasury, something that holds. I don't see our heart doing anything like that, the muscle. And it casts forth the good things. And the wicked man from out of the wicked treasury cast forth the wicked things. So there's some type of a treasury of good things and bad things that are within us. And it continues, awake, O my glory, the glory that God gives us, I believe. And then awake, psalterion and kithara, the psaltery and harp. And as I mentioned before, the psaltery is an instrument. This word in modern day is from an Appalachian instrument that is played, but it's nothing to do with the original psaltery. The modern psaltery is used with a bow, where the other one, I think, was plucked. But he continues, I will be awakened at dawn. So now we have this music. I will make acknowledgement to you among peoples, O Lord. I shall strum to you among nations. Now, what is he strumming with? Well, strumming with the harp and the psaltery. For great above the heavens is your mercy, and unto the clouds is your truth. So basically, it's showing it as far as man can understand. The heavens, they didn't know anything higher than the heavens where the birds flew and the clouds were. But they knew that God was above the heavens. So that's, is that outer space where the stars were? No, that would have been the cosmos. I think these people realized that God was above that. He created everything, and he was way above anything that we can see. The United States has just sent out a new telescope called the Webb telescope of some sort. It uses, I think, infrared rays rather than optical, which is a mirror that reflects light. And it's able to, they're thinking they can go back to the origins of the universe. Yeah, well, good luck on that one. Well, but it'll be interesting. It just went up in space Sunday, and this is Tuesday of 2021. Be raised up high above the heavens, O God, and above all the earth with your glory, where he is, so that your beloved should be rescued. Now, who is the beloved? The first place the beloved is mentioned is in Genesis, where God calls Abraham's son, Abraham's beloved son, Isaac, when he was going to sacrifice him on the mountain as God called him up to do. That was 3 places, and it's not mentioned again until here in Genesis. Actually, in Genesis, Psalm 60 has quite a few parts of this is the same. Psalm 60 verse 7, you can read it and you can see the similarities are almost exact. But in between the Psalm and Abraham, there's no mention of David being the beloved. So that's interesting. So who is the beloved? Well, in Genesis 3:17, we are told who the beloved is. It says, and behold, a voice from out of the heavens saying, this is my son, the beloved, in whom I take pleasure. So Jesus is the beloved in whom I take pleasure. And this was when they were, Peter, John, and James were up on the mountain with Jesus. Then, in the New Testament, if you looked up that word, number 27, agapetos, in the singular, you'll see it used many times by Paul and others about another believer, the beloved Amplius, or the beloved Eugene. Different names in the New Testament are called beloved. So I believe that's us. I believe we are beloved of God, so that your beloved should be rescued. God is above. Now, Jesus, you could possibly say that being rescued, but, Jesus, I don't look at his death and resurrection as rescuing, because he said he had the power to lay his life down and to take it up. But we are rescued. So I believe we are the beloved. Deliver with your right hand, that is with his powerful hand, with an arm of strength, and heed me to whoever is yelling out to him. And God spoke in his holy place. And he says, I shall be raised up high. And now from here on, we have a geography lesson of these different places. I shall be raised up high, and I shall divide Shechem into parts. In the valley of the tents I will measure out. And Shechem was the first capital of Israel. And east of Shechem is Succoth. And Shechem is about 40 miles north of Jerusalem. Mine is Gilead, which is an area that is east of the Jordan River, where the country of Jordan is today, pretty much the northern part. And mine is Manasseh, and Ephraim is the assistance of my head. And Manasseh was the tribe that probably contained the most land of Israel, and then the northern part of Gilead on the eastern side of the Jordan. And then Ephraim was south of Manasseh, a little bit north of Benjamin and Judah, where Jerusalem was located. And Ephraim is an assistance of my head, Manasseh and Ephraim, sons of Joseph. And Judah is my king, which Jesus came from the tribe of Judah. And Moab is the kettle of my hope. And the kettle here is a kettle of meat for stewing meat. So exactly why the kettle of my hope, stewing the meat of Moab, I'm not sure. And upon Edom I will put my sandal. Exactly what that means, who knows? The Philistines are submitted to me. Now Edom and Moab are on the eastern side of the Jordan, on actually the Dead Sea. Philistines are over where Philistia is today, where the Palestinians are located, Gaza Strip. Who shall take me away into a city of a citadel, or who shall guide me to Edom? And Edom is the area to the southeast of the Dead Sea. Here's a map I have. So Edom is down here, and then we have Gilead is all up in here. Manasseh is up in here. And Ephraim is down a little bit south. Succoth, and there's Shechem over there. So it's all about this area here. And then he continues, is it not you, O God, the one thrusting us away? Now, exactly where it's talking about thrusting them away, Babylon would be the only place I could think of, unless it was Rome, which I doubt. And will you not go forth, O God, with our forces? Give to us help from out of affliction. For deliverance of man is vain. Well, today I see Israel, a nation who is putting all the emphasis on its forces. I hope that they are putting the emphasis on God and knowing that God is the one that will deliver them when they are attacked, and not necessarily just their forces. God can use their forces, of course, but deliverance of the forces without God is vain, basically what he's saying. In God we shall execute power, and he shall treat our enemies with contempt. God is, for us, the Christians, are for the force that we have. And he is the one to help us from out of our afflictions, and looking at the government to solve our problems and afflictions is vain, basically. So looking for a family, well, some families, yes, and many families, no. And so that looking at the school and public education in the United States, somewhat of a disaster. Looking at my money, well, it could be gone In an instant, the electronic commerce could be stopped with the internet going down. All these different things. But yet, we need to remember that God is in control, and we seek our help and our deliverance from Him. Psalm 109, the Lord judges the sinner. Amen, He does. And who is a sinner? I believe everybody. Well, we'll go into 109, the next video seminar. Hope you join us. Till then, God bless.